Time to shine the spotlight on the Dallas Cowboys, loved by millions, hated by just as many, but impossible to ignore. From their rise as a 1960 expansion team to their dominance in the 1990s, the Cowboys have become more than just a football team. They're a brand, a cultural phenomenon, and one of the most valuable sports franchises on earth. But here's the question: are the Cowboys still the NFL's team of destiny, or are they forever stuck living off past glory? Today, we shine the spotlight on the Cowboys, their history, their highs, their heartbreaks, and what lies ahead in 2025. You're watching Spotlight Stories NFL, where every team has a story, and we put them under the spotlight. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. The Cowboys were founded in 1960 as an NFL expansion franchise. General manager Tex Schramm, head coach Tom Landry, and scouting savant Gil Brandt built the team from scratch, turning an expansion squad into a juggernaut by the late 1960s. By the 1970s, Dallas had earned the nickname America's Team, thanks to their consistent success, national television exposure, and Schramm's marketing brilliance. But the most seismic shift in franchise history came in 1989, when Arkansas oilman Jerry Jones purchased the team for $140 million, the most ever paid for a sports franchise at the time. Almost immediately, Jones made waves. On his first day as owner, he fired Tex Schramm and the legendary Tom Landry, who had coached the Cowboys since their inception. For a fan base that revered Landry's fedora and stoic leadership, the move was seen as borderline sacrilegious. Yet it was also the beginning of a new, more aggressive era. Jones installed his old college teammate Jimmy Johnson as head coach, and together they orchestrated one of the greatest roster rebuilds in NFL history. By stockpiling draft picks, including the infamous Herschel Walker trade that netted a haul of young talent, Jones and Johnson built the core of the 1990s dynasty. Dallas won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, 1992, 1993, 1995, becoming the team of the decade. But Jones's hands-on style and thirst for credit created constant drama. His feud with Jimmy Johnson boiled over after the 1993 season, leading Johnson to walk away just as the dynasty was peaking. Barry Switzer took over and won the 1995 Super Bowl, but many argued it was with Johnson's team. Since then, Jones has maintained tight control over every aspect of the franchise, serving not just as owner but also as general manager, a rare dual role in professional sports. Under Jones, the Cowboys became the first billion-dollar sports team and have grown into the most valuable franchise in the world, currently worth over $9 billion. Yet his tenure has also been defined by controversy, public spats with coaches, questions about his front office decisions, and a 3-decade Super Bowl drought despite enormous resources and talent. Fun fact number 1. Did you know that the Cowboys almost didn't exist? When Dallas first applied for an NFL expansion franchise in 1959, Washington owner George Preston Marshall tried to block it to protect his team's monopoly in the South. To get around him, Cowboys backers were granted a team in 1960 only after attorney Clint Murchison Jr. secretly bought the rights to Washington's fight song and used it as leverage against Marshall. The Cowboys' look is one of the most iconic in sports. Their trademark silver helmets with the blue star, white home jerseys, and metallic silver-blue pants have barely changed since the 1960s. Unlike most teams, Dallas traditionally wears white at home, forcing visiting teams to wear their darker uniforms in the Texas heat. Their blue jerseys, once nicknamed the Curse jerseys because of early postseason losses, have become fan favorites. The Cowboys played their early years at the Cotton Bowl before moving into the legendary Texas Stadium in 1971, with its iconic hole in the roof, so God could watch his team play, as fans joked. Texas Stadium became synonymous with Cowboys football for nearly 4 decades. In 2009, the team moved into AT&T Stadium in Arlington, a $1.3 billion colossus known for its retractable roof, massive HD video board, and capacity to host over 100,000 fans. Nicknamed Jerry World, it's more than a stadium. It's a global sports cathedral. Fun fact number 2. Did you know that the Dallas Cowboys' iconic star logo was designed by the equipment manager? Tom Landry's early hire Jack Eskridge drew the bordered blue star that's still on the helmet today. Not a branding firm, the equipment manager. The Dallas Cowboys have enjoyed not just one golden age, but 2 dynasties that defined different eras of the NFL. The first came under head coach Tom Landry, who led the team from its founding in 1960 until 1988. Landry was the picture of calm discipline, standing on the sideline in his trademark fedora. He was also an innovator, credited with perfecting the 4-3 defense and introducing the flex defense, a scheme that confused offenses and maximized the strengths of stars like Bob Lilly, Randy White, and Harvey Martin. Offensively, Landry used a computer-like precision to design plays, turning quarterbacks like Roger Staubach and Danny White into winners. The breakthrough came in the 1970s when the Cowboys became known as America's team. They reached 5 Super Bowls during the decade, winning 2. With Staubach at quarterback, a Naval Academy graduate who became famous for his clutch comebacks, Dallas captured titles in Super Bowl VI, 1971 season, and Super Bowl XII, 1977 season. In that 1977 championship, the Cowboys' doomsday defense dominated, and Staubach connected with Tony Dorsett, the Hall of Fame running back who electrified fans with his speed. By the late 70s, Dallas wasn't just a football team. They were a cultural phenomenon, broadcast nationwide every week, with cheerleaders, merchandising, and a blue star that became instantly recognizable around the globe. The second golden era arrived in the 1990s, when new owner Jerry Jones teamed up with fiery head coach Jimmy Johnson. After a complete roster rebuild, including the blockbuster Herschel Walker trade that netted a bounty of draft picks, Dallas built one of the greatest collections of talent in NFL history. Known as the Triplets, quarterback Troy Aikman, running back Emmitt Smith, and wide receiver Michael Irvin became the faces of the dynasty. Behind them, an offensive line dubbed the Great Wall of Dallas bulldozed defenses, while a defense led by Charles Haley, Darren Woodson, and Leon Lett imposed their will. From 1992 to 1995, the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, cementing themselves as the team of the decade. Their victory in Super Bowl 27 was a 52-17 blowout of the Buffalo Bills, a statement that Dallas had arrived. They repeated the following year in Super Bowl 28, with Emmitt Smith powering the offense and earning Super Bowl MVP honors. After Johnson's departure and the brief Barry Switzer era, the dynasty capped itself with a 3rd championship in Super Bowl 30, following the 1995 season, again defeating the Steelers. In those years, Dallas wasn't just dominant, they were glamorous. They were the NFL's biggest television draw, the most marketed team, and the measuring stick for success. Emmitt Smith would retire as the league's all-time leading rusher, Aikman would make the Hall of Fame, and Irvin became a symbol of swagger and toughness. Those 2 dynasties, the Landry-Staubach era of the 70s and the Johnson-Jones dynasty of the 90s, elevated the Cowboys into the stratosphere. They weren't just winning championships, they were shaping the identity of professional football itself. Fun fact number 3. Did you know the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were the first to become a global brand? The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, formed in the 1970s, were the first NFL cheer squad to gain national and international fame. Their calendars, TV specials, and appearances helped turn the Cowboys into a pop culture phenomenon and boosted the America's team image. For all their glory, the Cowboys have also endured crushing lows, and many of them have been magnified under Jerry Jones's ownership. The drama began almost immediately after their 1990s dynasty. Despite 3 Super Bowl victories in 4 years, Jones's feud with head coach Jimmy Johnson erupted over who deserved credit for building the dynasty. By 1994, Johnson was out, and while Barry Switzer rode the leftover roster to another championship, in 1995, the cracks were already forming. What followed was decades of frustration. As general manager, Jones became known for his hands-on approach, often clashing with coaches and making bold, sometimes questionable personnel decisions. The coaching carousel reflected the instability. After Switzer came Sean Gailey, Dave Campo, Bill Parcells, Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett, and now Mike McCarthy. Some brought brief hope. Parcells returned the Cowboys to the playoffs. Garrett kept them respectable, but none could restore the consistent dominance of the Landry, Johnson, or Switzer years. The quarterback position became both a source of excitement and heartbreak. Tony Romo emerged in the mid-2000s as one of the league's most dynamic quarterbacks, but his career was defined by playoff failures and gut-wrenching moments. The 2006 botched hold on a potential game-winning field goal against the Seahawks, the 2007 divisional round loss to the Giants after a 13-3 season, and the infamous overturned Des Bryant catch against Green Bay in 2014 all became symbols of Dallas's futility. Even with Dak Prescott under center and stars like Ezekiel Elliott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb, the same pattern has persisted. Regular season success followed by playoff disappointment. Since their last Super Bowl win in 1995, the Cowboys have reached just 3 NFC championship games, none since 1996. For a franchise that once set the standard for winning, nearly 30 years without a Super Bowl appearance feels like an eternity. Through it all, Jerry Jones's presence loomed large. His relentless media exposure, sideline interviews, and public declarations have kept Dallas constantly in the spotlight, sometimes overshadowing the players themselves. The Cowboys remain the NFL's most valuable and visible franchise, but their long drought has turned America's team into a national punchline. Fun fact number 4, did you know about the blue jersey curse? For decades, Cowboys fans believed their blue road jerseys were cursed. It started in Super Bowl V, a loss to the Colts, and continued with several playoff defeats while wearing blue. The superstition grew so strong that Dallas made white their permanent home jersey to force opponents into color. Few franchises can match the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to legendary names. Their history is a timeline of Hall of Famers, innovators, and superstars who defined entire eras of football. The Landry years of the 1960s and 70s produced some of the most iconic players in NFL history. Roger Staubach, nicknamed Captain Comeback, was known for his poise under pressure and ability to win games late, becoming the face of America's team in the 1970s. Bob Lilly, Mr. Cowboy, was the franchise's first-ever draft pick and became a Hall of Fame defensive tackle who anchored the Doomsday Defense. Randy White and Harvey Martin carried that legacy into the late 70s, terrorizing quarterbacks. On offense, Tony Dorsett, the electrifying running back, gave Dallas a home run threat, including his famous 99-yard touchdown run, still the longest run in NFL history. The Cowboys also had stars who shaped their identity as a passing powerhouse. Wide receivers like Drew Pearson, known for the original Hail Mary catch from Staubach in 1975, and Michael Irvin, the heart and soul of the 1990s dynasty, defined toughness and big play ability. Tight end Jay Novacek became one of Troy Aikman's favorite targets, while offensive linemen like Rayfield Wright and later Larry Allen dominated in the trenches, with Allen often called the strongest man to ever play in the NFL. The 1990s dynasty is remembered most for the triplets, Troy Aikman, the accurate, efficient Hall of Fame quarterback, Emmitt Smith, the NFL's all-time leading rusher with over 18,000 yards, and Michael Irvin, the emotional leader who made clutch catches when they mattered most. Add in defensive stars like Charles Haley, the only player in history to win 5 Super Bowls, and Darren Woodson, the franchise's all-time leading tackler, and you have one of the most complete rosters ever assembled. Even after the dynasty years, Dallas continued to produce icons. Tony Romo, though never winning a Super Bowl, became a beloved figure for his toughness and record-breaking numbers, keeping the Cowboys relevant through a turbulent era. Jason Witten, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history, became the face of the franchise for over a decade, retiring as the team's all-time leader in receptions and yards. On defense, DeMarcus Ware became one of the NFL's most feared pass rushers, eventually earning a gold jacket. In today's era, Dak Prescott has carried the mantle at quarterback, while CeeDee Lamb has emerged as one of the league's brightest young receivers. And on defense, Micah Parsons has already established himself as one of the most dominant and versatile defenders in football, with comparisons to Lawrence Taylor. And of course, no list of Cowboys icons is complete without Tom Landry, the stoic genius who coached for 29 straight seasons, and Jimmy Johnson, the fiery architect of the 1990s dynasty. Add in Jerry Jones, the ever-present owner who transformed the Cowboys into the most valuable sports franchise in the world, and the Cowboys' legacy extends beyond the field. The Cowboys' coaching history is a tale of innovation, clashes, and personalities. Tom Landry ruled the sidelines for 29 seasons, crafting an era of stability and innovation. Jimmy Johnson took over in 1989, clashing with Jerry Jones but building a dynasty. His successor, Barry Switzer, inherited Johnson's team and won a Super Bowl in 1995, but Dallas struggled to maintain consistency after that. Since then, a carousel of coaches, from Dave Campo to Bill Parcells, Wade Phillips, and Jason Garrett, has struggled to restore glory. Today, Mike McCarthy leads the Cowboys, facing immense pressure to deliver postseason success and finally bring another Lombardi trophy back to Dallas. The 2024 season was one of disappointment for the Dallas Cowboys. Instead of contending for a division title, the team stumbled to a 7-10 record, finishing third in the NFC East and missing the playoffs for the first time since 2020. It was their first losing season in 4 years, and the struggles were glaring. While Dak Prescott battled injuries, including a nagging hamstring issue, the offense lacked consistency. The defense, still featuring stars like Micah Parsons, couldn't overcome breakdowns and a brutal schedule. Perhaps most surprising was their collapse at home. Dallas went just 2-7 at AT&T Stadium, one of the worst home records in franchise history. They were also swept by the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time since 2011, a bitter pill for the fan base. For a franchise built on sky-high expectations, 2024 was a sobering reminder that the Cowboys are still searching for the right formula to return to their championship ways. The Cowboys entered the 2025 NFL Draft with one priority above all: rebuild the trenches and restore the physical identity that has always defined Dallas football. With the 12th overall pick, they grabbed Tyler Booker, a powerful guard out of Alabama, immediately viewed as the heir to Zach Martin after his retirement. Booker's size, consistency, and polish make him a likely day-one starter. In the second round, Dallas added pass rush help with Donovan Eziruaku, the explosive edge from Boston College, expected to help replace DeMarcus Lawrence. They doubled down on defense in the third round with Siobhan Revel Jr., a long physical corner from East Carolina, who brings upside despite coming off an ACL injury. On day 3, Dallas shifted to depth and playmakers. They drafted Jaden Blue, a shifty running back from Texas, and Phil Maffa from Clemson later in the 7th, signaling a committee approach to life after Tony Pollard. Shamar James, a linebacker from Florida, adds toughness and special teams value, while Johnny Cornelius from Oregon provides needed depth as a swing tackle. In the defensive interior, the Cowboys selected Jay Toya from UCLA and Tommy Akingbasat from Maryland to bulk up the rotation. Analysts praised Dallas for addressing their biggest needs directly. Booker solidifies the offensive line. Eziruaku injects energy into the pass rush, and Royals, the speed threat at wide receiver they desperately needed, could become a steal if he develops chemistry with Dak Prescott quickly. While not the flashiest draft, the Cowboys' 2025 class was widely seen as practical, tough, and exactly what they needed to close the gap in the NFC East. Fun fact number 5. Did you know the Dallas Cowboys once had a computer in the draft room before anyone else? In the 1960s, Cowboys executive Tex Schramm and scout Gil Brandt introduced computerized scouting long before it was common. Using IBM mainframes, Dallas analyzed player data and measurables in ways no other team was doing, giving them a huge edge in finding talent during the Landry era. Heading into 2025, the Cowboys remain one of the NFL's most talented teams, with Parsons wreaking havoc on defense, CeeDee Lamb blossoming into a true superstar wideout, and Prescott playing with urgency. Dallas is again projected as a playoff team, but the story remains the same. Regular season dominance must finally translate into postseason glory. Vegas projects the Cowboys at 10-11 wins, likely good enough for the playoffs, but the question is whether they can finally break through and return to the Super Bowl. From Staubach's comebacks to Aikman's dynasty, from Landry's fedora to Jerry Jones's empire, the Dallas Cowboys have been the NFL's most visible and polarizing franchise. But nearly 30 years have passed since their last Super Bowl, and the clock is ticking on this era of talent. The question now is simple. Can the Cowboys reclaim their place as champions, or will they remain the NFL's ultimate what if? Don't forget to like and subscribe to Spotlight Stories NFL, where every team has a story and we put them under the spotlight.